Good day, fellow miners. Welcome to the Oz Mining channel. So, I have just spent just over 90 minutes watching the core dev meeting for the Ethereum team. It's meeting number 138 on the 13th of May 2022. If you're in Australia or on the eastern side of the world, that's actually morning time on the 14th of May. But for East Side Europe, it'll be on the 13th. So, what did we learn from today's meeting? Well, look, let's just kick into the first piece of the meeting. We'll just run it at the start. But what I'm going to do for you guys today is pretty much save you about 90 minutes of your lives, and I'll give you the very short edited version of what came out today. But let's just kick into the beginning of the meeting, get a feel for what they're going to start talking about, and then I'll come back and I'll cut to the chase. What we learned today around the testnet fork, the mainnet merge day, and difficulty bomb discussions and potential delays. So let's just jump right into it. Let's jump onto YouTube and let's just have a quick listen.
Okay, I've moved us over to the main screen. Welcome everyone to All Core Devs 138. Tons of merge stuff today, and then if we have time, there's some updates to what was 4938. Oh, Felix had a networking EIP he wanted to talk about, and then there's two other EIPs that wanted technical feedback. Hopefully we get through them. I guess first we had mainnet shadow fork 4 earlier this week. Perry, do you want to walk us through how that went?
Yeah, hey everyone. So we had mainnet shadow fork 2 yesterday. TTD was hit around 4 exactly. We hit TTD around 4 p.m. and it was a relatively nothing big happened. I think all the clients that were there before were also there after. We added a bunch of validators to minority clients that we didn't have in previous shadow forks, for example, like Bezu Lighthouse, etc., instead of purely just Bezu Prism, just so that we can track attestation and proposals. The one thing we noticed was the Nethermind team mentioned that a couple of client pairs are proposing empty execution payload. So we're getting proposals, but the proposal itself is an empty execution payload. I know they're talking about it and potentially have a fix. I think there was a Prism fix that they pushed yesterday. I've updated a few notes with it. But in general, it was a really good run. We did have an issue with Ericon syncing up, but that I think is an unrelated non-merge code base.
All right, I'm going to pause you there on just over 5 minutes into the call, and pretty much the next hour is really talking about some of the testing outcomes on the most recent shadow fork that's been taking place, and there's been a lot of shadow forks as they're testing out adding new code and fixing bugs. There's talk about progress, but there's definitely talk about issues as well. And anytime I hear about issues, that obviously means more testing. So I just try and read into that what that might mean for the overall project. But look, overall, my take is, and it was actually quite interesting. There's quite a vigorous chatter, not on the main chat here for the call, but on when it's live on YouTube. There's a side chatter. And, I think the overall comments were, the conversation lacked focus. There's not really a clear plan and dates they're really sharing in the core. But remember, this is the dev meeting, so they're really focused on things on the ground. They're not necessarily presenting to us as an audience, but still, some of it seemed a little confused. There was lots of strands breaking off. A lot of chat and unknowns, and, the sense was some uncertainty. And there was still some comments around a stack of testing needed. There was a lot of testing, a lot of discussion around TTD, and quite a lot of people asked either on the main call itself, what does TTD mean? And this meant terminal total difficulty. This, my understanding, is when proof of work triggers their transition to proof of stake. So I think that's something they're testing out when they're doing the shadow forks or the test network forks. Is they're just going to put this trigger in when it hits a total terminal difficulty, then the proof of work will switch over to proof of stake. However, if anyone's got any different thoughts on that, let me know. Listening to the chat as well, Max Voltage was very good at breaking down some of the comments and the reality. So yeah, whilst a lot of us were having a bit of a chuckle, and that was probably one of the highlights of watching this 90 minutes. Yeah, Max Voltage actually chipped in with some really good points. And I'll come on to some of them in a minute. But yeah, please, go and follow Max Voltage. Big shout out. He was very helpful on the side chat. So look, what was discussed in the next sort of 60 minutes up to just over the hour mark? Well, look, what's happened? The most recent shadow fork has been completed, still to be done. They set a meeting. They set a date to complete some more development for the 23rd of May, which coincides, I think that's just before the next Dev Core on the 27th of May. So on the 23rd of May, they're going to finish doing, they're calling it the Robstein testnet. So the Robstein testnet, they're going to finish doing the dev code for that on the 23rd. And then 2 weeks after that, it will allow time to validate nodes. And then a decision was made, and there was discussions around the group whether they had strong, weak sort of preference for the next fork, and it's called a testnet merge. And a lot of people on the call were going, "Wow, that's the merge, 8th of June. It's the merge. What we're going to do? Sell our GPUs quickly." But no, this is the testnet merge. So there was a little bit of panic, but it's been validated that the 8th of June will be the planned testnet merge. What I think this means then, looking at the bigger plan, is, after the testnet merge, there's then going to be every couple of weeks additional testnet released and merge. And I think the original plan was every 2 weeks there's going to be up to, I think, 4 of these additional merges. So I think in a best case scenario, we could be looking at following testnet merge, or everything else going well, there could be around 4 additional merges or forks in 2-week intervals. So you could be looking at 8 weeks post the 8th of June, which would probably push us into territory of August for a mainnet fork or merge, whatever you want to call it. So that was a real date I guess we would be thinking about in terms of, when's that going to impact GPU mining and Ethereum moving to proof of stake. Again, these are just things that I am sort of estimating or sort of hearing. It's not absolute. It's just my thoughts. Be keen to get your thoughts back on the comments below. Hey, please do some likes, subscribe as well. Really help the channel. Let me know if I'm doing a good job, bad job. If you want to be hearing some different points of view on this channel. So yeah, what else was discussed? So yeah, we've got this date for the Robstein testnet merge on the 8th of June. There will be a call in 2 weeks, so I would assume on the 27th of May. So we'll probably learn more then if that's going to go ahead. So did we get any discussion of difficulty bomb? There was a little bit. Look, let me just now skip to you. And like I said, I'm saving you a lot of minutes of your lifetime not listening to this whole call. But let me just jump in. I think let's listen from 1 minute 10. Let's just have a 5-minute listen and pick up what we can get from here. And then we'll come back and
work
continue the chat.
Relatively well up to like a month out. So I would just suggest that we go to like the June 8th value, which is roughly in the middle of that week. And this gives us this TTD value, which I'll paste here. Anyone have an issue with that? We can make it look like a palindrome if people really want that. but otherwise also happy to just go with this estimate. I'll also share the GitHub repo in the chat here in case people want to have a look more. Yeah, good question. TTD is terminal total difficulty. It's the total difficulty value on the proof of work chain at which we trigger the transition to proof of stake.
So I might just pause it there. That I think just underlines what I said was correct, that this TTD value that they're looking to, I guess, place into the code at some point is going to be the main trigger that will move proof of work to proof of stake. So that's just something I think we're going to hear a bit more of as they're running the testnet merges and progressing after that. So yeah, just thought I'd pause on that key term. Let's get back to this couple of minutes of chat. Just want everyone to listen to.
And so the one I posted in the chat here is the one that would happen on June 8th, which is basically 4 weeks from now. And so it gives us 2 weeks for the client releases, and then 2 weeks for people to upgrade their nodes to a release that contains this value.
So as was brought up earlier, scheduling the Robstein fork far in advance risks someone trolling us and hitting it, next week or tomorrow.
In that case, we need to do a TTD override, but I don't know that there's a way we can get around this. Because that can be true, like, as soon as the blog post is out. If we give people 2 weeks, anyways, it's always going to be the same problem.
I mean, one option would be to just use the override exclusively for Robstein. Like we just say, we're going to do an override. We'll tell you what the TTD is, 3 days before June 8th.
I think that's really bad, because then we don't exercise the real path.
I see what you did there, Marius.
Yes. Basically, that's exactly what we win. Yeah. That's exactly what we did on what we do on the shadow forks, and I think there might be a bunch of issues there.
Yeah. Okay. You win. I can see.
Andrew, do you have a?
Well, my preference would be to postpone it to the TTD to the 15th of June. But if everybody thinks that it should be the 8th, I'm okay with that. But my preference would be the 15th.
Anyone have a strong preference either way?
I have a weak preference for 15th.
That's probably true, but I don't think that pushing the difficulty bomb is that bad. It gives us more time to prepare a release, like a better release, and more time for testing. But I don't insist. If the majority thinks it should be the 8th, then it's all right.
So I would agree, but my view is that this is testing. If it were, I don't consider Robstein a production network. It's a test network. So therefore, I think the sooner the better, because it gives us better testing for when it's for the real thing.
Anyone else have thoughts?
Mine is the same as Andrew. I still see work before us, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So the more time we have to polish the release, the better for us, but 8th is doable. And also, I don't see a problem delaying difficulty bomb when we are already going to testnet. So if it's a short delay, but except it is a little bit additional work and scheduling. But I don't see this as that big issue. But that's just opinion that might not be correct.
I guess one objection against delaying the difficulty bomb is that it will imply that the miners will have to update, and what if there is a revolt among the miners?
Right, yeah, they do need to run.
Yeah, so from my perspective, just to play devil's advocate here a little bit, us pushing the difficulty bomb indicates that we are going to delay the merge, which is good for them. And so that feels like something they would be on board with.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I can see both sides of this. And so okay, so if we did do like the June 15 rather than the June 8, it also means I guess both for like Nethermind and Aragon, you also want to.
All right, guys. So I'll stop you there. I've tried to keep those little snippets down as much as I can, and really in there was a couple, 2 or 3 mentions of the difficulty bomb, and that was really it. In today's core, there was really very little focus on merge date. It was really about this testnet merge, the Robstein merge that was locked in for the 8th in this core. And you would have heard there they did discuss around the difficulty bomb delays. There was the word revolt that was mentioned by one of the dev team, and there was a lot of sort of chuckling and laughter and comments in the side chat about, yep, let's revolt. So we're having a laugh around that. It's interesting, listening to the dev core. I often find that like miners almost picture these guys, these bad guys, like, got to watch out for them. They're doing bad things. When you really think about it, like we are earning money, but we have invested. We are supporting the network. We believe in blockchain. So, I don't necessarily like that aspect. It's not all the developers. Some of them, I guess, are pro miners. Some are like, yep, yeah, sort of. But those guys, we don't really care what they think or what they want to do. In the previous call, there was a mention around a little bit of a worry about rogue forks being done off the network. And this is where I think there is some reason the dev team don't want to do a fork which then delays difficulty bomb too soon. Because if that happens, there is a chance that rogue forks will happen straight after that. And then you get a copy of the latest Ethereum code with a long delay until the difficulty bomb goes off. What that means is it gives a rogue fork time to defuse that difficulty bomb before before their forked network grinds to a halt. However, if someone takes a fork of the network now, they probably won't have time to fix the difficulty bomb before their rogue fork just fails and falls over. So I think they don't mention it, but I think a rogue fork is something that the dev team are worried about. Hence why they're keeping this difficulty bomb, I guess, as a tool to stop rogue forks forming. The comment around revolt for miners, well, I kind of find that a little bit weird because, well, what's the revolt going to be? I know we've been trying the great hash rate move today. But look, to be honest, you look at the Ethereum hash rate, it hasn't changed 1 iota. So and the reality is, if there's money to be made mining Ethereum, it's the most profitable coin. There's not going to be a revolt. People are going to keep mining that coin until it either is unminable or it's not the most profitable coin. So I don't really see a revolt as something that's really going to happen. So, and yeah, a final comment, and this is a really good one that MaxVolt has made in the side chat is, I think for miners, what we need to remember is the merge day and the difficulty bomb are actually mutually exclusive. If the difficulty bomb is pushed back a year, 2 years, it doesn't actually mean the merge is going to be delayed a year or 2 years. So, they could actually push the difficulty bomb back a year now and the merge will still happen in 2 months. So, whilst I guess in the short term and, it's probably likely there will be one delay in the difficulty bomb. I don't think reading into it absolutely of when that delay is moved to or how long it's going to be determines exactly when the merge is going to happen. I think more to my point earlier, I think the dev team just want to keep it very tight and don't want to create a big, gap between delaying the difficulty bomb, then doing the merge, because it just creates those opportunities for rogue forks to break off and create an ETH 2.0 or ETH 3.0, which then could potentially challenge Ethereum proof of stake. So that's my view on it. I hope you found that useful. Like I say, that was a 97-minute call, and it was probably overall quite disappointing in terms of just what I really wanted to hear from there around potential merge dates. Was going to be any delay or hard forks to extend the difficulty bomb. So anyway, still always good to listen to these calls. I just want to share that with the community. Love to hear your thoughts on this update. Again, please appreciate some thumbs, comments. Please subscribe. And yeah, happy mining, guys. I know profits are down at the moment and things are looking bleak, but it's one of those things we've got to keep calm, carry on mining. As much as we love the spikes, we got to work through the dips, keep the rigs efficient, and keep moving on. Now's a good time to spend some time with the family while the rigs aren't so profitable, and we can come back and revel in the glory when the profits are hopefully back up higher again. So that's it for me, guys. Have a great day wherever you are, and keep calm, carry on mining.